to the Haverhill Journal, where we give you a quick look at what's going on in our city. I'm Lindsay Paris, and this week, because it's Halloween time, we thought we'd step out of the studio and bring you on a trip to some of the scariest, spookiest, and most interesting places around. And we're starting out here at Haunted Overload in Lee, New Hampshire, and I am here with Wallace, one of the organizers, to tell us some more.
Hi, I'm Wallace Valley. Welcome to Haunted Overload. Haunted Overload was started at Eric's house in Exeter, New Hampshire, many years ago. He went over to Copple House Farm on 155 in Lee, New Hampshire, and moved from there to Demerit Hill Farm here in Lee. This is the beginning of the queue line. You'll come through the queue line, you come over here, you'll get your tickets at the ticket booth, and then you proceed. And you'll come up here, and you'll see the big pumpkin. That's the beginning of the rest of your life, I would say. Here at Haunted Overload, we have 3 levels of scaring. We have the day walk, if you got little children at home and you want to bring them through. It's just, so you can see all the sculptures and everything in the daylight. And then we have 2 nights where we have Fright Night Light. The fog is going, the sound is going, the lights are all going, and nobody jumps out to scare you. Only on the queue line we have actors, and they're family friendly, let's say. And then we have our normal show. The normal show consists of a full-blown scares, so be ready. So this here is the Vortex, one of the first projects that we built. See the eyebrows there and all that?
Yeah, this is huge.
And the teeth. That's the kimono dragon. This is all fluorescent paint too, so this glows at night with a black light. Black lights in the trees. This was, last year was one of our big things.
That's amazing though.
Yeah.
I can't believe you guys built all
Pretty
this.
cool, huh? ABC contacted us and wanted to do a Halloween special, the Great Halloween Fright Fight. So we ended up getting #1 on the show, and we won $50,000, and we donated all the proceeds to Cocheco Valley Humane Society, a no-kill shelter. So we all here feel very proud of what we did for them, but what they also do for us. This is one of my favorites too. See his nose?
The nose poking out? I saw that.
That is, and the head there with the nose poking out. This year, one of the big things we built was a Queen Victorian mansion. And the response is phenomenal. Just take a look. Around the tree, yeah.
Awesome.
Like it's been here for a long time. A lot of this wood is distressed wood that's been laying out in the field for years and years and years, ready to fall apart. And it's like, what are you doing with that? Well, just letting it rot. Well, we can use it, And they're amazed at what we do with it. Actually, the head is real, and the rest we made. Not including the amount of time that you spend in the queue line outside. The walk itself, depending on the amount of people, some people are faster, some people are slower, you're looking at a good 40-minute walk through the woods here on this trail. Believe it or not, the people in here that are in it actually scare the bejesus out of you. Nobody expects anybody to be in here, but they are. Every year we get more and more actors. This year we're close to about 90. It's people who have been here, veterans that have been with Haunted Overload for years. And they just keep coming back every year. They love it. A lot of times I'm in the dark. I'm in my costume, but I'm in the dark. And I'm waiting for the scare. But I can hear people as they're walking by and what they're saying. And it's like, the things they say sometimes just gives you goosebumps, knowing that you built all this and you're scaring the pants off these people. So, we're doing our job.
That was unbelievable. If you want to come visit this overload of hauntings for yourself, they're open through October 31st. For our next story, though, you may think that old ghost towns only exist in Wild West movies, but far be it. There is one right here on Cape Ann in Massachusetts, and we went to check it out. Witches, vagabonds, and wild dogs have all roamed these paths that once made up the streets of Dogtown, a 17th century settlement here on the border of Gloucester and Rockport. The common settlement, as it was known at the time, was home to over 300 people, but today it's a New England ghost town.
Why did locals choose this rocky and fertile highland for a settlement? Back in the 1600s, when coastal New England was first being settled, Cape Ann was plagued by pirate attacks and Native American raids. Thanks to its location, on high ground at the very center of Cape Ann on a major thoroughfare, the common settlement flourished during the 1700s. But prosperity was short-lived. By the early 1800s, Gloucester's industry had become centered around its harbor, far away from Dogtown.
The last residents of Dogtown was an assorted group of vagrants, squatters, and abandoned packs of dogs, which is how Dogtown got its name. By 1830, the place was completely empty, but there are over 25 cellar holes remaining here in Dogtown, including this one that I'm sitting on right now.
Imaginations have been captured by the tale of Dogtown's untimely demise for centuries. The Dogtown twilight of September 1858 was chronicled by none other than Henry David Thoreau.
At Innisquam, we found ourselves in the midst of boulders scattered over bare hills and fields. This was the most peculiar scenery of the Cape. We struck inland just before sundown and boiled our tea with bayberry bushes by a swamp on the hills, in the midst of these great boulders about halfway to Gloucester.
So you're out for a walk in Dogtown, already feeling kind of spooked, then you come across one of these giant boulders carved with inspirational mottos. These are the work of Roger Babson, Babson College founder and native of this area, who commissioned these from the WPA in the 1930s. There are 26 of them sprinkled around Dogtown, so keep your eyes peeled.
An eerie calm prevailed through the 5 square miles of Dogtown as we traveled through. Modern visitors have reported paranormal sightings, most commonly a mysterious woman dressed all in black roving the woods. Could it be the ghost of Thomasine Younger, known as Dogtown's Queen of the Witches? Maybe.
If you want to visit Dogtown, today it's a nature preserve, so you can come here and hike, bike, or cross-country ski. For our next story, we're going down to Ipswich, where Chris Bowden is going to stand on another big rock and tell us about the day the devil paid a visit.
I'm standing here on the beautiful Meeting House Green in Ipswich, Massachusetts, a very historic town. I actually grew up here in Ipswich and grew up hearing the legend of the Devil's Footprint. And I'm outside the first church in Ipswich, where supposedly the Reverend George Whitefield in 1740 had a battle with the devil. And today, we're going to hear the legend and what really happened on the day of the Devil's Footprint.
Well, the first church in Ipswich was founded in 1634 by the Congregationalists, and we have been here on this hill ever since 1634. It's been a long, lively, vital congregation, and there have been 5 different buildings across that span of 380 years.
So in the 1740s in America, there was something called the Great Awakening. There was a religious revival all throughout the country. And in 1740, there was one particular preacher who was very famous, named George Whitefield. He was a terrific preacher. George Whitefield was coming here to Ipswich to preach. Ipswich at the time had a church that was standing right where this church is. It was an older form of this church, if you will. And behind the altar, there was a mirror, an old, dark, smoky, sort of warped mirror. And the congregation sat facing that mirror, and the idea that was you could think about your mortality and your life. And a lot of people believe that the devil lived in that mirror.
We have people who come to see the Devil's Footprint maybe every couple of weeks or month or so, and some of them are interested because it's a spooky story, and others are interested in what the theology of it would mean. Indeed, the idea that the church was so religious and vital and waking up, and during this movement of the Great Awakening, that the devil ran away.
Well, George Whitefield came here to Ipswich, and he was so popular that thousands and thousands of people showed up to hear him preach. So he couldn't be inside the church. He was out here on this rocky ledge. And it is said the devil came out of the mirror, came outside to hear George Whitefield preach. Well, George Whitefield spotted the devil, and the devil spotted George Whitefield, and they started to fight. They rolled around the ground, they were punching and kicking and grappling, and it said that they fought their way up the side of the building to the very top of the church. There was one moment when they were right at the top where George Whitefield almost fell, but he regained his strength and kept on fighting the devil. They worked their way up the steeple of the church that used to be there. We don't know to this day exactly what George Whitefield said to the devil at the very top of the steeple, but whatever he said caused the devil to be thrown off the top of the steeple and fall to the ground. And in a blaze of fire and brimstone and smoke, the devil disappeared. But to this day, it's said, in the rocks behind me, there is the imprint of the devil's cloven hoof.
It's a very interesting story. The theology of the devil is something different people and different churches will talk to you about with different lenses, different prisms to look at it. But I think for our congregation, we're happy to be the place that he left. Certainly, no matter what our theology is, we're happy that he's not here, that he ran right away and hasn't come back.
His cloven foot left this imprint right here in the rock. This is our devil's footprint. It's not the only devil's footprint. There are devil's footprints located all over England as well as New England, but here in Ipswich, of course, we believe this is the real devil's footprint.
Well, looks like a pretty good match to me. So there you have it, story of the devil's footprint here in Ipswich, Massachusetts. Legend or reality? What do you think?
Hope you enjoyed our look at some of the eeriest spots on the North Shore. Don't forget, Haverhill trick-or-treating is Saturday, October 31st from 5 to 7 p.m. I'm Lindsay Paris. Have a happy Halloween, and don't forget to set your clocks back on November 1st.
The sun goes down, the moon comes up, and here comes the price. Here comes the price of Halloween night. They're hunting, it's daunting, they